Hello, Facebook Village. How are you? Good evening. It is Mama Monday time, and I have missed it so much. I'm so happy you're here. Can't wait for you to hop on. I have been away and working on all kinds of stuff for 2019. My first question is, how's everyone's New Year's resolutions? Oh my gosh. It's one of the main reasons I wanted to wait till the end of January. Hello, everybody that's hopping on. I'm so excited to see you on here. This is a really big joy for me to hang out with you guys for about 30 minutes. A lot of times, the typical percentage of those of us that are on top of our New Year's resolutions, our prayers, our bullet points, our new exciting ideas for 2019, usually the percentage goes down by the end of the month of January. And I think that says a lot of things. I think in a negative sense, it says, yeah, why bother? It's not a big deal. No one's going to do it anyway. But I think on the positive side, what it means is, A, we're not alone. We all face the same struggles, and B, again, on the positive side, if you've ever read any of Dr. Caroline Leaf's material, I cannot recommend her more highly. She's a wonderful, beautiful, godly woman from South Africa. She's a neurophysicist, and she basically combines the science of the brain with scripture. It's really beautiful, and she says that it takes 63 days to firmly establish a habit. And so when we're trying to establish a habit for a new year, which I kind of think God is in the new seasons and the new turn of events, that it's normal for human nature to look forward to new things, to holidays, to festivals. He knows that we're going to do that normal clean out our closet type stuff and try to make things different and try to make changes. And I think the beauty in all of that is, yes, it's hard, admitting it's hard. And like Proverbs says, when we fall down, I can raise my hand already at January 28th mark, okay? And I have a long list of ideas and goals for 2019. Not just for me, but for my fam, you know? If you're thinking about your family, your kids, your financial profile, whatever you're thinking, all of us have that. I've already plummeted on 2 or 3. Okay. But like Proverbs says, it's so cool about God. He knows. And it says, if you fall down 7 times, get up 8. So, i.e., in other words, I was teasing our kids about all of their, what's it called? All of their initials for everything, LOL for laugh out loud. And anyway, I'm making fun of it still. But i.e., they probably don't know that one because it's Latin. It means, in other words, it's okay. Get up the 8th time, right? So to hop on to our topic, tonight's January 28th, Monday night, Mama Monday debut for 2019. Can't wait to go full force for the whole year. Homeschooling, public schooling, and a pie plate. What do they have in common? Okay, I have not got to talk about homeschooling yet, and today it just came across my path. It was whispered in my ear, and so I really think I'm going to tackle it tonight, and I'm very excited about it. Of course, I can't tackle it in one night, but what I want to do is put you at ease first. Many people do not homeschool. The percentage of people that homeschool in our nation, I'm just talking the United States, we're talking about, I don't know, someone can correct me if I'm wrong. I think it's around 3 million maybe. And I could be totally wrong on that number. Please don't quote me. I'm throwing out a guess there from something I've read. I know it's a small percentage, obviously. Okay. But it is growing. It is, a ever surging movement right now. But what I want to focus on tonight that I hope will be a blessing wherever you might stand, I want to connect the topic of homeschooling with what most people, the majority, do with their children's education, which is obviously public schooling. There's also private schooling. And then what they have in common with a pie plate, which is really funny because I don't make pie very well. But it's all going to connect, okay? I'm actually going to show you a little picture here. Let's see. bear with me, okay? I'm going to turn this around. I'm still here. Let's see if I can get it. Okay, there you go. Okay, Gen Hack for tonight. Okay, and you can read it. Aren't you impressed? I'm so excited. There's a pie plate, okay? And there you have the spiritual piece, the practical piece, the academic piece, and the social piece. Now, these are the principles, the core values that we want to teach our children in our homeschool, which is called Grapevine Academy, okay? And then you see down at the bottom, the punchline of the night that I'll get to eventually, okay? So, hope you've got that jotted down. Okay. And here we are. Okay, I hope you've got that. I'm so impressed, guys. You could read it. Yay! Okay, so now, what do these have in common? Okay, now when you look at those pieces, again, those pieces are what Lorenzo and I have prayed over and decided over a course of 23 years, okay? One of the main reasons we wanted to homeschool is we wanted to fully, emphatically emphasize their spiritual training. Again, these could move any which direction you'd like them to move for yourself, obviously. Some of you have children attending a Christian private school. That obviously means you have some kind of spiritual focus. You might have your children in public school for a reason that resonates for you spiritually as well. And I had a wise woman say to me once, and I want to emphasize this as well. If you love your children, their academic education is going to follow that love. If you love them, if you are committed to them, if you are intensely abandoned to knowing their heart, they are going to be amazing. They are going to be world changers, okay? There are so many different avenues to that. I, myself, am emphatically sold out to homeschooling. Wild horses could not tear me away from it. I am so passionately in love with it. But it's not for everyone, but my heart might be the same as your heart, and you have a different avenue for your kids academically. Does that make sense? So when you see those pieces, you have spiritual, practical, academic, and social. And again, you may want to change those pieces for yourself, okay? Once you're in that position that you have schooled children, you realize very quickly, no matter what your choice is for their formal education, and this is also something that I love to say that I feel like puts every mom at ease, every dad at ease, and let me say as a side note, it doesn't really help anybody for us to ostracize each other. Okay, and I think moms can be especially terrible at that. I can't say that I haven't done that, and I would say to you emphatically, it might have been unintentional. If I've ever done that, forgive me, because that's never been my heart. I think we can ostracize each other for the way we do things. The ultimate, obviously, is that, again, we are in love with our children. We're trying to win their hearts. We're trying to know them, because I can tell you right now, from the age group I have, okay, so I'm at 9 months to 23 almost, okay, so I can't speak past 23 years old, but for the time space I am working with right now, I can tell you right now, no matter what you do for their academic education, you are going to fall to your knees and pray that God will help you with every single thing you're doing with your children, because all of them, no matter how many you have, many or small amount, you're going to have to face your own weaknesses when they collide with your children's weaknesses. And one of the things that we do often, I think I might have a visitor. Well, we'll see. I think I have a visitor. I'm in my son's house in my office, so he came to his own house. One of the things that we like to do with our kids often, and I think this is kind of a bit of an anomaly these days as well, is we talk about their weaknesses. We talk about their strengths. Sometimes for fun, we play a game. We'll go around the family table. A lot of you have seen the picture of my family table. It's about 9 feet long. It's got a lot of knocks and wear and tear. It's one of the most beautiful pieces of furniture in my house to me. But around that table, we will say, each person, one at a time, things that we like. things that we see in each other that are strengths, things that we see that are weaknesses. And I think that is so powerful and so empowering to what your child will end up doing. I think it's okay to be able to say, you know what, so-and-so topic, so-and-so subject, so-and-so extracurricular activity, that's really not your thing. But this is your thing. It's so amazing. You are rocking it in this. I think it's really, really healthy to be able to say all those things. You're not a bad person because you have weaknesses. And planting that in our children allows them, hey there, Margie, it allows them to see weaknesses in others and still see the strengths as well. See what I'm saying? It builds a mindset that, yeah, we all have strengths. We all have weaknesses too. And there's nothing wrong with that. Okay, that was a little side note. But as we begin the parenting journey, we discover really quickly, outside of academics, okay, you are homeschooling, no matter what avenue of formal education you choose. And I like to say that to every parent I ever get to talk to about this subject. You all are homeschooling because this is the deal. 0 to 5. Science has proven it. I'm sorry I can't quote the actual studies that I've read about it. I haven't written one, but I have read plenty of them. 0 to 5, your child's character is formed. Okay? Wow. That's heavy. 0 to 5. That space of time is so absolutely critical. So, so, so important. Well, that's basically, before formal education begins. So you as a parent, you are homeschooling, you are teaching, you are talking, you are going to the store, you are going to the library, you are picking people up and taking them back and dropping them off and going shopping and going for weekend trips and going to church and bedtime and reading stories, and all of those things are homeschooling. Okay, so I just get to add in the academic area of our day, and that is something that is a little bit different. So obviously, all of those things connect with each other, no matter what avenue you've chosen as a parent. And many people have different circumstances. No one has the exact same situation. So what I would encourage you to do, if you might be at the spot where you're still choosing, you're still considering what to do with your children, one of the things I love to tell moms and dads, if they're younger and we're getting to talk to them and just encourage them and hang out with them, one of the things I love to say is, you know what? A lot of people do certain things. There's, quote, a normal way. Just make sure that you pray about it. Okay, just make sure that you get wisdom and you get knowledge and you research and look things up. Don't just go along the, what's it called in Whitewater? Don't just float along the lazy river. I'm not implying anybody's lazy, but you know what I mean. The little slow plod along river and just, be carried along. Be the parent that is willing to go, okay, God, what is the thing for my kids? What do they need? What do you need me to get from them? That's one of the biggest perks I feel like homeschooling has given me. And there are disadvantages as well, which I'll touch on. But be that parent who says, hey, I want to hear what's right for my family, for my husband, for my children, for our calling in life. Remember, Zoe and I talked about at the end of 2018, the 3 circles are so critical: calling, core values, and capacity. What can we do in our time frame? What can we spend financially, etc.? Okay, so no matter what it might be it how you birth your children, where you birth your children, how you educate them, how you spiritually train them, where you go to church, what you feed them, we don't get this time back, guys. The majority of our children's lives, they're going to look us in the eye. Okay? You know what's really strange? I have 13 cool, amazing babies, right? I now have 1, 2, 3, 4, almost 5 that are looking me in the eye, or they're looking down at me, as is the case with my 2 sons. Okay? So it's this quick. It's so quick. It's so worth the time and the passionate investment of knowing that we feel like we're right where we're supposed to be. Okay, so all that is intro. Go back to our little picture here. Okay, so I have, for our pieces of the pie for Grapevine Academy at the Dunford House, I have spiritual piece of pie, the practical piece of pie, the academic piece of pie, and the social piece of pie. One of the biggest disadvantages of homeschooling is obviously the social piece. Now, I do want to say about that, that's fully up to the parent to try to advantageously give our children social opportunities. That's pretty obvious, okay? When someone's in a public school setting, they have multiple avenues for that to happen. When you're homeschooling, you need to work on that, and you have to recognize when and where and how you can make that happen for them, okay? And that's probably, I'd say, one of the biggest disadvantages, but we can turn it around if you're in that spot as a homeschooling parent or family, and you can make that one of the pieces of pie that's the most fun. It all depends on what's important to you as the parent, okay? Now, one thing I would say is if you're a public school family, a lot of their socialization, just from the fact that I was in public school, we get a lot of socialization in the same age group, right? So our peers are all around our same age. So something that could be a weakness for a public schooling family is that it's not as easy to get them into an intergenerational setting, which I think is something a public school family can try to work on. That can be a bit of a disadvantage in their situation because they do spend lots of time with their same age group, okay? Whereas conversely, you have the same, or not the same, but the opposite situation with a homeschooling family, okay? So that touches on some of the social settings. Now let's go back to the practical piece. I actually skipped that one. I am all about practical. I think there are certain things in life that are so important that everybody out there, no matter what you choose, no matter how you do this, they're going to need these certain skills. And Lorenzo says this to the kids a lot. If we have any issues with, bad attitudes and I don't want to do so-and-so and groaning, everybody's got to wear clothes and everybody's got to eat. Okay, so some of those normal things, the mundane practical things, I'm pretty big on to run my ship. It's really important that everybody knows, how do we efficiently do laundry? I'm going to do a story soon on my laundry process. That's been a work in progress over 23 years. Everybody's got to eat. You know, how we do food. We talked about that in 2018 on one of the Momma Mondays. Practical skills are so important. Helping a little one, helping somebody other than yourself. That comes in really handy when you have a child reach the, let's say, 13, 14, 15, 16 area. I haven't come up for that age group. I haven't come up with a name for that particular age group, yet. But I think every single one of you who's a parent knows exactly what I'm talking about. 13, 14, 15, 16. Fill in the blank, okay? I don't know what exactly you would call it, but it is very different, and it can be very, very, very tough. I think that's the frame of time that you think, hello, what was I thinking? Oh, I can laugh about it now, but you guys know what that means. You know that has been not a laughing matter before you can laugh, right? So anyway, all that to say, yes, 13, 14, 15, 16. Very, very tough. Okay. And that's okay. Actually, Lorenzo and I just talked about this a couple of days ago too. I think that's the time frame. I guess I'd call it the selfish time frame, and I don't mean that in a negative sense. I think it's perfectly natural that at about 13-ish, they become more self-centered and more self-focused because they must. They must. That's still within the time frame and the framework of having mom and dad and their guidance. And with that guidance, I think that's where you kind of slowly get them to that spot. They're ready to get out of the greenhouse. They're ready to be out in that garden. They're through with the stakes. You know, all those supports, you just slowly start pulling away. And that self-centeredness that is there by nature, you give them full on opportunities to think about somebody besides themselves, however you choose to do that. You know, one thing that we do, and this is totally off the subject a little bit, hang everything to the side and we'll come back. one of the things we've enjoyed doing with our kids, we actually need to do it again. It's been a while, but we like to take them to nursing homes. That has been such a wonderful experience. Hey, Emily. Yes, lots of preparation for that. I see your question there, and I'll go back to that. We're always learning from what we experienced as children, and again, that's a natural thing too. I am the time frame. I'm 46. I just turned 46 on January 20th, and for all of you who wished me a happy birthday on Facebook, thank you. I read everything. It was so beautiful. I couldn't answer every single one, and I'm so grateful. Many of you said that was so sweet. I'm at that time in life where my parents know everything. I know they know everything. Their wisdom, is just oozing out of them at 71. Did I think that at 13, 14, 15, 16? Of course not. Nobody does. You're really not supposed to. And I think the fun thing about us having 13 kids is we have a lot of opportunities to keep practicing the things that we mess up. And one of them, that one, has totally dawned on me the past 2 years. That time of being a little bit more self-centered, a little more selfish, it's supposed to happen that way. It's very, very healthy for that to happen. And recognizing that and still being the guiding factor before they hop off into the young adult arena. I'd call that maybe pre-marriage, when they're not married yet, but they're young adults. They're calling pretty much all their shots. So anyway, coming back to the main subject, I said we'd hang that over to the side. The next piece of the pie is academics. Okay. Many public school parents that I know, my family's been in public school education for many, many years. My mom is an amazing doctor of education. She has an academic doctorate. Many teachers in the family, my sister, my grandmas. There are so many different things that you can gain from being around someone that either teaches or is involved in a public school or your friends, within their circle. Lots to learn there academically, how things are done, systematically speaking. And then from what you can learn there, if you're in the homeschooling arena, or again, remember, every parent homeschools, okay? If you are thinking about what can I do for my kids once I see them at the end of the day, what can I add? What can I enhance? I think I could offer a suggestion there from having sisters who teach and mom who formerly did. One of the best things we can do if we happen to have children in public school is if they're spending time with us once they're home from their schooling situation, one of the best things we can do for their teachers is make sure that we're reading, that we're requiring them all the time to be obedient, that we're really, really watching how they respond to our request, teaching them manners, like please and thank you and excuse me, and raising their hand when they have a question. Now, of course, I've got a lot more people I'm working with all at once around my table. I ask my children at home to raise hands because I have a few, okay? You might not feel like you have to do that. But all that said, if your children are in a public school setting, I know for a fact from my relatives and from my friends and things that I've worked really hard on with my children, every teacher that's helping your children, even if it's Sunday school, we really, really all appreciate as adults that a child can respond to us with obedience and with respect. And I think that is tantamount to how they respond academically, because if they respond that way in their way of giving you an ability to know they're listening, one of the things we teach our kids is a little poem that says, I will look at someone speaking, I will listen all I can, I will sit and stand up straight like a soldier on command. I will not draw attention. I will guard against distraction. I will learn to ask the questions that will help me understand. Commitments are important steps to guard us from disaster. And just to show we know them well, we'll save it even faster. It's a little cute rhyme, but it really, really helps our kids realize, hey, when someone says something to you, like if I say Benjamin, I don't want to see that Benjamin just keeps walking down the hall or wherever we might be if we're at the table. I want him to look at me and say, yes, ma'am, how can I help? What do you need? What's going on? Some kind of response, that's kind, that's respectful. And if we're teaching our kids that, the portion of the day that we're with them, then they can respond to the other adults in their life the same way. Isn't that cool? And that will really, really help. That will help every interaction that they have, whatever it may be. Okay? That really fits in every piece of the pie. I was about to focus on academics, but that really correlates with the academic piece because it facilitates healthy learning and it facilitates efficient learning. One of the things that I know can be difficult for some of the stories my friends have shared when we've been interacting, if they happen to be in public school situation, and even my homeschooling mom friends, it's really, really difficult to make headway. Hello, moms, teachers, do you hear me? You can't make headway, you can't make progress if you're always correcting someone, if you're always asking someone to, shh, please be quiet, please be quiet. That is something that really, 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 it begins at home. It begins at home. And again, remember, every parent homeschools, okay? No matter where they go, following that, obedience is so, so, so important. Once we've established that, the academic learning, let's go to town, right? We can make progress. We can make progress in the reading and the writing and the arithmetic and all the extracurriculars and the science and the social studies and the history and the geography and the events of the world, the things that make us passionate about living on this planet while we're here. Why are we here? What are we supposed to do? All of those things just kind of meld together when we can listen well, when we can respond well. Okay, so that's covering the academic piece there. And again, whatever venue your children might be in. And I think I mentioned spiritual, and then of course I mentioned social, but the punchline of tonight that I really want to get to you, my bottom line gen hack for tonight, for Momma Monday, before I let you go. I was thinking about this today, and I wanted to make sure that I said this last piece that I think is absolutely critical. And I don't think it's ever come to my brain exactly this way, and so that makes me think that it was something I was supposed to share with you tonight. So we had all the pieces of the pie. You saw the picture there of the pieces of pie for our philosophy for schooling our children. Your pieces of the pie may be different and reflect your calling as a family. For me, again, it was spiritual, practical, academic, and social for Zoe and I together. Okay. This is the clincher for everybody, no matter what the venue of schooling is that you may utilize. The clincher is character is the pie plate. Okay, we've talked about the pie pieces. For me and Zoe, it's spiritual and practical and academic and social, whatever yours may be. But character is the pie plate. Okay, that is so exciting, guys. That has never come to my brain that way, and it literally just happened today, and I've been doing this 23 years. Okay, I want to pass that on to you. That's my gen hack for tonight. Okay, no matter what your pieces of the pie look like for your philosophy for training up your children, no matter what it looks like, the pie plate that's holding all the pieces together, all of them, is character. Character is the pie plate. It's holding everything in one piece. Okay. Oh my gosh, so important. I can't tell you emphatically, intensely enough how important it is. Let me give you an example, okay? I watched someone today, character is the pie plate, yes. I watched someone today while I was going to the bank on my lunch hour. I had to go make a deposit, and I was driving. This is our little tiny small town, okay? And I pulled in to the bank. On my way to the bank, I noticed someone in the middle of the road, and this is a road that's an actual highway. It's not just a little, a side road. It's not a neighborhood road with a couple cars every few hours. This is a fairly busy highway that goes through our little town. As I was coming up the opposite direction, I noticed a dog was in the middle of the street. Okay? Then I noticed that there was someone, a human, getting out of a vehicle to help get the dog, because this is, again, a busy highway, and it's by a curve, so sometimes someone can whip around that curve right where this street this spot in the street intersected. And as I pulled closer, I realized that the person in the street about to get the dog out of the street, for the frantic dog owner who was on the side of the highway, who was trying to get the dog to come to her, this person was down in the highway watching traffic, coaxing the dog that had never seen this person before into his hands. He hands the dog to the woman, who is thrilled as he's handing her the dog. As I get closer, I realize that person in the middle of the highway getting the dog was my son. And I cried. It was amazing. It was a beautiful thing. He didn't know I saw him. Okay, so my point being, the character that you plant inside your children's heart will carry them through every single thing they need to do. It will carry them through the learning they need to accomplish in the spiritual, in the practical, in the social, in the academic, everything they need to do academically. If they're having trouble academically, if they're challenged, they're facing difficulty, focus first on their character. Of course, our character is that stuff inside that helps someone choose to do the right thing when no one's looking. Okay? And yes, I'm kind of bragging on my son, but I know his weaknesses too, and I can tell you that he's not perfect, and he fully knows that I'm not. So I'm just telling you exactly as it happened. Wow, that literally, that blew me away. And by that time, when someone's around 21 years old, that is something that you're hoping to see. It doesn't mean it'll always be that way. It doesn't mean it's always perfect. And it is not in any way, shape, or form perfect. It's not perfect at my house. It will never be. But if you know what you're focusing on, you know that this character thing is going to hold all of the pieces of pie for your philosophy, for your children together, then you will focus on that, you'll pray about that, and you'll talk about it, and you'll work on it every single day, little bit by little bit, by little bit, by little bit. And you know what was so funny? I mentioned it afterwards. You know, you really know what's inside a person when they do something they didn't expect anybody to see. Okay? That is the prayer, that is the goal. Now, as I said, I can say, hey, I know he's working on 1, 2, or 3. He's working on this weakness or that weakness. He is. And I am too. I can give you the list. Remember, we talked about breaking our New Year's resolutions, and it's only January 28th. But that was such a beautiful example. I had to share it, and it blessed me so much because, guys, I'm kind of support parent for my young adult kids right now. I'm not dictating any of their choices. I'm on the sidelines. Zoe and I are in the bleachers cheering them on, okay, in life, so to speak. I mean, we're praying our guts out for them. We're interacting. We're offering what we can offer. We don't want to step on toes, you know. So I had to share that because it was such a beautiful thing. And at the same time, I know we're talking years, guys. We're talking investment of years and years and years. And if you're a young mama and you're just starting, you are talking about a time frame where the days are this long. Can't stretch that far on the screen. But the years will be this short. The years will be this short. The days are this long. You can't see my arms. It's so long, okay? But that will slowly, slowly, slowly shift over time. And then you might see, you know, your 21-year-old help someone across the street, or rescue the dog about to get run over, or help the person in the nursing home that needed to pick their purse up, or helping someone that left their wallet at the checkout in the grocery store. You don't know. That's what you're aiming for, okay? And when I do say character, when I say character is the pie plate, I don't mean that it's not spiritual. It is spiritual, but I do mean that it has the stuff of being spiritual and physical. It's the nuts and bolts that make someone know how to choose the right thing. It propels them to choose something that will benefit their family, themselves, others. It's being truthful. It's integrity. It's honesty. It's work ethic. It's working hard. It's sweating. It's doing hard things. It's practicing. It's admitting you're wrong. It's all those things go back to character. So I'm already at 30 minutes. How did that happen? I'm a little bit over. I'm so sorry. I'm so happy you guys hopped on for Momma Monday. It was January 28th edition of Momma Monday, and we have a whole year of Momma Monday coming up, and I cannot wait. I'm very, very excited. If you'd like to look at my blog, it's justafamilything.com. You can find me there. I'm actually about to change the name of that blog, but it is still going to be easy to find. You can find me on Instagram, also on Just a Family Thing handle, and of course here on Facebook. So I hope you have an amazing Monday night. Blessings to all of you guys. If you need a rewatch, if you haven't seen the whole thing, please go back. It'll be posted here, and soon I'll have it on a YouTube channel. I'm working on that right now. So blessings, guys. I hope you enjoyed the Gen Hack for tonight. Remember, character is the pie plate. Okay? Hope you really, really have an amazing week, an amazing rest of January, and amazing 2019. Comment if you have questions. And see you next time, next Monday, same time, same place, 9 p.m. on Facebook. Good night, guys.